Last month, a man stood in my bay with $22,000 saved up and asked me the question I hear every single week: which used F-150 should I buy? I asked him one question back, and he couldn't answer it, and that 30-second conversation saved him a $4,600 mistake. The question wasn't which year, it wasn't which trim, it was which engine, because two F-150s can sit side by side on the same lot, same paint, same miles, same price, and one of them is quietly on its way to 300,000 miles while the other one is about to put a lift's worth of repair bills between you and payoff. After 20 years under these trucks, I can tell you the badge on the fender means almost nothing. The badge on the engine means everything. So here's the full map. 3 engines I'd walk away from no matter how clean the seats are, 3 I'd spend my own money on, and the winner isn't the one people argue about. It's a 3-year window inside that engine's run that most buyers scroll right past. Walkaway number 1, the 5.4 Triton 3-valve, 2004 to 2010. Every Ford tech has a Triton story, and they all start the same way, with a spark plug. Ford threaded a 2-piece plug into these aluminum heads, and over tens of thousands of miles, carbon locks the lower half of that plug into the cylinder. When it's finally time for a tune-up, the plug doesn't unscrew. It snaps. What should be a $200 service turns into extraction work at $300 to $600 a hole. And they almost never break alone. 8 cylinders, no plug records. Do the math before the seller does it for you. Right along with that is the cam phaser and chain wear this whole engine family carried. The same stretched oil intervals that starve the phasers stretch the chain, and by the time you hear it, the estimate starts around $2,000. Your lot test costs nothing. Ask one question: when were the plugs done? No answer, or nothing in the records before 100,000 miles, assume never. Then cold start it, and listen for a metallic rattle in the first half minute that fades as it warms. Records missing. Walk. Rattle fading. Don't walk. Leave. Walkaway number 2, the first generation 3.5 EcoBoost, 2011 to 2016. Ford's big bet, twin turbos in place of a V8. And for owners who changed oil like it mattered, it mostly paid off. For everyone else, 3 problems grew quietly in the same crankcase. The timing chain stretched faster than the interval schedule assumed. The phasers wore as oil quality dropped. And because fuel never touches the intake valves on a direct injection engine, carbon packed onto them mile after mile. And it gets worse. These 3 don't take turns. They arrive together, usually somewhere around 80,000 miles, in the same shop visit. 1,800 to 3,000 for the timing work, another 500 to 800 for the carbon. Your lot test. Ask for oil records, and if the gaps between changes average past 6,000 miles, that chain already paid the price. You're just being asked to reimburse it. First Gen 3.5 only if the price already has a $2,000 apology built in. Walkaway number 3. And here is where it gets interesting because this one wears a disguise. The early 2.7 EcoBoost, 2015 to 2017, parked next to a 2018, is the same truck to your eyes. Same body, same badge, same seats. Under the hood, 1 year draws the line between a recurring bill and a non-issue. In 2018, Ford added port injection alongside direct injection, so fuel washes those intake valves clean on every cycle. The earlier engine runs direct only and collects the same carbon as its big brother, $500 to $800 of cleaning every 40,000 miles, forever. So before you talk numbers on any 2.7, open the driver's door and read the build sticker. The same white sticker this channel has been comparing notes on for months. Don't take a seller's word for a model year distinction the seller usually doesn't know exists. And on any 2.7, run the VIN for open campaign work while you're at it. Ford extended coverage on this engine family for a reason, and paid for factory work is either done or it's your problem. 1 year on a sticker, $0 to check. That is the difference. Stop for a second because this is the mistake I watch buyers make every week. They find the truck online, low miles, spotless leather, panoramic roof, chrome package, and they negotiate hard, feel like they won, and drive it home. 6 months later, they're standing in my bay asking why it rattles on cold mornings. Here's the truth: nobody prints on the window sticker. Seats can be replaced, screens can be replaced, wheels come off with 6 lugs. The engine is the purchase. Everything wrapped around it is decoration with a price tag. The buyers I never see again are the ones who spent their test drive on the oil records and the cold start instead of the cup holders. Stay with me, because the 3 engines worth hunting are next. And if you're the kind of buyer who'd rather spend 20 minutes checking than 3 years paying, hit subscribe now. The winner's best years are the ones the internet gets loudest and wrongest about. Buy number 3, the second generation 3.5 EcoBoost 2017 and up, the towing answer. Ford fixed what broke the first one, revised chain tensioners and guides, and the same dual injection cure, so the carbon bill is gone. If you tow regularly, this is the strongest tool in the used F-150 lineup. But this is where most people get it completely wrong, because the internet will tell you Gen 2 also cured the phaser rattle, and Ford's own paperwork says otherwise. There is a customer satisfaction program on the books for second-gen 3.5 cam phasers, and it expired at the start of 2023. That's the manufacturer putting in writing that enough of these rattled to warrant a program, a job that runs $3,200 to $6,000 out of pocket now that the window's closed. Your lot test, run the VIN, and ask in writing whether the phaser work was performed. Then the overnight cold start. Done under program, buy it and tow with a clear conscience. No proof, and a rattle that fades. That's not a negotiation point. That's the exit. Buy number 2, the 2.7 EcoBoost 2018 and newer, the one everybody underestimates. On paper, it reads like the compromise engine. In the shop, it's the quiet overachiever. 400 pound-feet of torque, the best fuel economy in the gas lineup, and a block cast and compacted graphite iron. The same material family heavy diesel blocks are made from in a half-ton commuter. It also carries the lowest turbo trouble rate of any boosted F-150 engine I see, and the dual injection keeps it clean. It'll tow your camper and your trailer of mulch all day. It is not the engine for a max payload life, and it doesn't pretend to be. Verify the campaign work on the VIN, verify records, and if your budget is tight, a clean dual injection 2.7 is the most truck per dollar on the used market. The engine nobody brags about is the one that never makes them call me. And the winner, the 5.0 Coyote, but not for the reason you think, and not every year equally. The Coyote doesn't win on horsepower or even on raw reliability. The Gen 2 EcoBoosts are genuinely good. It wins on what ownership asks of you. No turbos soaking in heat after a hard pull. No boost plumbing aging in the sun. No intercooler drama. When something does need attention, it's a common part, an obvious diagnosis, and a labor bill any independent shop can handle. And over 10 years of ownership, that boring simplicity is worth more than any spec sheet number. Now the part the popular videos skip. The 2011 to 2014 trucks had early chain tensioner niggles Ford sorted mid-run. The 2018 and up Gen 3 got dual injection, and also became this engine's documented oil drinker, to the point that Ford quietly changed the factory oil spec on the newer ones. We did a whole video on that reversal, and 2021 bolted cylinder deactivation hardware onto the simple V8. More oil pressure solenoids on the engine you bought to avoid oil pressure solenoids, which leaves a bullseye almost nobody names out loud. 2015 to 2017, tensioners fixed. Consumption era not yet begun. No deactivation hardware. And here's the quiet bonus. Those years pair the Coyote with the 6-speed 6R80, one of the most proven automatics Ford ever built before the 10-speed arrived. A 2015 to 2017 5.0 with records is the simplest, most sorted powertrain combination of this entire truck generation. But don't stop there, because even the bullseye gets the same interrogation as everything else on this list. 3 checks, and they cost you nothing. 1, the overnight cold start, non-negotiable, and if a seller won't allow it, the seller just answered for the truck. Start it cold and count. A second or two of tick while oil pressure builds is a healthy engine priming. A rattle that runs 7 seconds or more before fading is the timing system introducing itself. On a Coyote, that can be a $300 solenoid or a $4,500 phaser job, and you price for the second one or you leave. 2, one question. When were the plugs done? And can I see the oil records? An owner who can't answer didn't stretch just the plugs. 3. The build sticker and the transmission. On a 10-speed truck, ask when the fluid was last changed and whether the shift quality updates were done. A serviced 10R80 is fine. An unserviced high-mile one is a risk you don't need when you already chose the right engine. Market reality as of now, a clean, documented 2015 to 2017 5.0 runs roughly 12 to 20 grand private party depending on miles, a modest premium over the V6 trucks around it. Pay the premium. It's the cheapest money in this entire video. That man with the 22,000, he passed on the loaded Lariat with the mystery service history, and 3 weeks later he found a 2016 5.0 with 84,000 miles, a folder of receipts, and a cold start you could sleep through. The seats are cloth. The engine is forever. Now it's your turn to feed the map. Drop your year, your engine, your mileage, and the biggest repair bill it's handed you past 100,000. That comment section is becoming the real-world reliability chart Ford will never publish, and buyers are reading it before they shop. And if you just bookmarked a Coyote listing, the oil that engine should actually be running is not settled by the sticker under the hood. Ford changed its own answer, and that video is next. Watch it before your first oil change, not after.